Welcome to the Neen Valley Role-Playing Association, a group of friends who like to play RPGs. Let's role-playing games and try and have fun. If you like the video, please like and subscribe.
Last week was interesting. It seemed that Lovlaw got intimate with a god. And lots of other information was found out. Doors were opened, doors were closed. See where this week takes us, shall we? Where are we going? And what are we doing? That's the question. So, decisions, people. Last week you suggested you were climbing in your ship and flying to Enchant. Planning to visit Flax. Is that still the case?
Think
On my vote.
I wasn't aware this is a democracy.
I thought we were going to Enchant.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That sounds like
Flax-
a 90s
Flax
boy
is-
band.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
NSYNC.
So is Flax and Enchant the same place?
Enchant is the planet. Flax is the capital city.
Gotcha. That's all right then.
In as much as there is such a thing.
Are we there yet?
Ah.
Lovelaw wants to drive.
No, I would know better than that. That's never worked.
I'm not flying. Nope. Not
You're the
this one.
captain, of course you're flying.
Nope.
Hmm.
No
Is that because
comment.
it takes an entire day to land?
Yeah.
Nope, but she walks out and goes into her room and closes the door.
Whoa.
Mhm.
What'd you
Is there
say?
a history we don't know about there with Enchant?
That's where she's
Captain.
from.
Captain's obviously very obtainable today.
Hmm.
Well, if
Stick
one
a
of our party does
pseudopod
not
under
wish
her
to go to
door and find out
Enchant,
what's going on.
Yeah.
should we not be asking the question of do we need to go there?
Good
No,
question.
I mean, the captain said, can we take a vote on it? And she got outvoted, so we're going. Piracy on the high seas! Arr! It's a
There's
mutiny.
them.
Actually, I think we should actually stage a mutiny. captain at the helm, of course. You know, just so that we can say, as a pirate band, we've actually been through a mutiny. I think that would be awesome. Yeah, what do you think about that?
Oh, if you polymorph everyone into cows, you can have a mutiny.
Oh.
Oh dear.
See, the problem is, I think if we approached JL and we all stood and we surrounded her with cutlasses and we said, we demand you give up the ship. We will take it over. She'd go, all right then, here you go. Here's the keys.
You idiots.
I don't know, because I mean, the captain's position comes with a fine hat, and she's cut 2 bloody big holes in it, and it won't actually fit on anyone else now.
It won't
It'll
keep
fit
your
on
head
a cow,
warm
though.
and dry anymore, will it?
It would fit on a cow, so you know,
Murr.
the mutiny might work.
A mutiny. It's the way of the gods. I've got
Well,
a cake
if you
here.
want-
If you tell us what's going on, JL.
Obviously, you could fit the hat because you could just stick a couple of pseudopods out through the hole.
No, I can only do one at a time. I'd have to stick I'd have to move my arms to go out of my top of my head, and then you'll just have little hands poking out, going with a shield in front, and then I wouldn't be able to see where I'm going.
Yeah.
Full cover for face and chest, no cover for gonads and feet.
Full shot.
And the GM's trying to talk, but we can't hear him.
Yeah, he's on mute. Or,
Yes,
I don't know. In some fashion, he is muted.
he is muted.
Because
Is that your mutiny?
Oh, it could be.
It's a
It started.
mutiny.
Viva la revolution. I quickly go and make a new flag.
Printer?
Is it chucking out like 14 pages per minute?
No, he's
Your
gone all
ears are
Marcel
gone.
Marceau on us.
I love it.
Don't forget the rope trick. So, yeah. We're going to Flax on Enchant.
Okay.
And
Enchant.
JL's locked herself in a room in a huff
Not going to come out.
because Lovlaw ate all the bloody cakes.
I guess.
Family, eh?
So we're off to Enchant. Very good. So between JL and Varo, they gave you advice on what will happen when you reach Enchant and how you land at Flax. They pieced it together between them and then explained it to the rest of you. So anyone who's flying or is observing, you know what the situation is. Okay.
Okay.
So who's flying?
Not
Is it
JL.
Not JL.
in the helm?
She's made that perfectly clear. Anybody
JL
asks
doesn't want
who's
to-
flying, we have
Yeah.
to say definitely not JL.
Are we, you know,
If JL doesn't want to fly the ship, Varo will.
JL's number 1.
all right.
I'm not being
The eye
JL's
patch.
number
I have
2.
the eye patch. I have the eye patch and everything.
Why, did your eye just get indented?
No, number 1.
Oh, number
eye
1
patch.
with the eye patch.
Mhm.
Yeah. You see, I knew you would come round to being part of this pirate team, Varo. You look dashing with the eye patch.
I nicked your eye patch when you weren't looking.
That's not an eye patch. It's a nipple patch. But it does look good on you.
It's the tassel on the end that makes me laugh.
I know, but he hasn't seen that bit yet.
Well, I can't because it's covering my eye, isn't it?
Oh, just do this quickly. You'll notice it.
Brilliant. I've taken position up on one of the ballista. Ready for you guys to move the ship where it needs to go. Though I hope that some of you will go talk to JL and figure out what the issue is before we do something irretrievable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, what is it that you specifically want to avoid, JL?
Is someone going to her room? Is that you knocking on the door?
We don't have to knock on the door. We can just ask her.
Oh, through
mean,
the orb.
I would imagine
teleport.
that if somebody disconnects from the orb, it will come up with a JL has disconnected.
404 error.
Yeah. Forbidden page. Try using a VPN. Which takes us to our next segue. Our sponsor.
Yeah.
Hello, JL's not listening right now, but if you'd like to leave a message,
Yep.
Yeah.
Please do so after the 2 digits go up.
the most expensive answer machine in the world.
Mm.
Yes.
So
Got
JL
star maps from eons previous, and all you use me for is voicemail.
Here
We should-
I
we should
am,
just
brain
check.
the size of a planet. Yeah.
We should just check. You have set the recording back up again, yeah?
Yes. Yeah, I'm going to do all the
never know.
editing, don't worry. You guys have made my night tonight, I tell you. There is me having plans for Star Citizen tomorrow morning.
Oh no.
I'm filling out forms, but no, I'll be editing. It's what I live for. Okay.
So,
Yes, I knock on the door, and then mentally I go, JL, what's going on?
that's
Can I
the
come
two
in,
of you that have
Captain?
sent that thought.
Let's all
What?
bombard her all at once.
Entirely up to you as to how you respond.
If you do not talk to us, dearest, then we cannot help you. Is it that we should not go to Enchant? Is there some danger for you there?
I thought we'd figured out that secrets were dangerous for our group.
I would just say I didn't announce I was leaving. I just left.
Ah.
So,
Do you perhaps wish to return
Your
incognito?
response is
Would that
perfect.
be
Yeah.
would that be a little bit more fun for you? To go undercover.
That might work, but yeah, they're very clever.
Okay. Well, if you think it is dangerous for you to return there, then
I don't.
we do not
I
have to.
I don't think it's. I don't think it's that it's dangerous. It's just they're gonna
They
want
may-
me. They're gonna want
they
me
may-
back doing work things, and I don't want to do work things.
As opposed to
They
being
may wish
with us
to end
doing
your
work things.
journey.
Yeah. They think I should be. They think I should be doing this and this and this and this, and it's so boring. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be what they want me to be. I want to be what I want to be.
fair enough.
And what do you want to be, JL?
I want to explore the stars. I want to go and see what these waypoints are. I want to find out about those giant alien creature things and steamships and all sorts of other cool things.
You want to be a
And space
pirate,
flights.
don't you?
Sounds like it.
Definitely. Right.
No, I just want to. I want to see what's out in the world. I don't want to be my life dictated by other people.
I understand that.
I suppose. Quick question would be: is there any wanted status hanging over your head that could implicate the rest of us?
Don't think so.
Why not?
I didn't do anything wrong. I just
Can
left.
anybody compulsively? Can anyone compel you to go back to work?
Uh,
Or is it just simply shame and telling you?
I don't know.
Hmm.
Some of them are very well trained in the arcane arts. Others in physical martial combat. Yeah.
Suppose they wouldn't call it enchant if it wasn't enchanting, huh?
I didn't like being here. It's just I've only ever seen here. There's so much more out there.
Well, you could always stay on board Narasoa. Keep reading the Mugsy's Marauders to her. There is no reason that you should have to leave the ship, necessarily. There is no reason that they need to know you are on board the ship.
Yeah, exactly. But it's easier. It's easier for me to be hidden if I'm not flying.
Can your
I'm not saying we shouldn't go. It's just I don't want to fly.
So you've already taken
this
the decision
this
to try
journey.
and hide.
Yes.
JL, can your tail jewelry and any other insignia that you might have come off?
Yeah.
Okay. If you take those off, I can give you... Hang on a minute. I search around on the floor for a stone, a nail, a coin, anything. What's lying around that's the size of a pebble?
Make him roll for it. What are you doing?
Okay, so I found an old nail from that I had in my woodworking bench from. Oh no, that went up in flames, didn't it? Shit.
Here, take a coin.
Yeah, I wanted it not to be a gold one though.
Don't you have some pieces parts from your creature?
Right. Okay. I don't go down into the kitchen and I pick up a spoon, just a teaspoon or something like that we would use for decanting shit from one pot to another, and basically I'm going to do a little bit of magical tinkering.
We only have one for each person on here. That's yours.
Oh, we have a few more than that.
That's all right. I don't use them.
We stocked up on March.
Right. So, John, I can imbue a tiny non-magical object with a magical property of my choice. The examples are 5-foot radius of light, up to 6 seconds long recorded message, emits odor or non-verbal sound, static visual effect including up to 25 words of text. You can affect a maximum of 4 objects at a time, and it doesn't actually on the character sheet. I'm going to look in a minute of TCOE page 11 to see if there's a time limit for it. But basically what I want to do is I want to imbue this this small spoon with a static non-visual effect that says this is not JL, and I'm going to pass it to JL. So when she touches it, it comes up in front of her face. She can see through it, but anybody else looking will basically just see a text saying this is not JL.
This is not the JL you're looking for.
Yeah. I've got this sorted for you. Don't worry.
Not so sure this is so helpful.
Oh,
This is a bit like Grog the Orc, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Grog the Orc Road.
I thought it would be a
was
cunning
almost
disguise.
7
Should we do
foot
something
tall
else then?
orc
If you
weighing about
imbued it to
350
maybe say,
pounds.
if you imbued it
Puts
to
all of
say
his
something
efforts
along the
into
lines,
intimidation. So when he turns up places and they say, "There's a big orc coming towards," he goes, "See Grog," and everyone goes, "Oh," and looks away. So you know, it's a form of stealth.
This is Shaggy's attempt at Magritte. Ceci n'est pas JL.
So n'est pas un pipe, yeah.
Okay, so I'll do a second one, which instead of it being static text that says this is not JL, it's just going to put a dim light to basically hide JL's features. So it's not a disguise; it's like a light mask over her face.
I can make JL invisible.
Well, if we can disguise her
For an hour?
for 8 hours, then that would be even better. But
Unfortunately, yeah. I mean, I've got disguise, but it's disguise self. Unfortunately, it doesn't work on others.
So I'm going to say that you're arriving at, unless you tell me otherwise, I'm going to say that you're arriving in the orbit of Enchant. You're flying in towards Enchant, past the number of days, and these are all things that you've done while you're heading out. Okay, so unless you tell me otherwise, no, we're still at March is the watchword. I don't think it is, but I'm just saying.
Could we just do something as simple as giving her a cloak? Maybe a little makeup to make some extra lines around her eyes. And
I have a spare mask.
there you go. Just wear a mask.
A bit of hair dye.
If you put a little bit of lace or some details on it, you could pretty it up to make it suit a little bit closer to your clothing style.
okay,
Is this just a simple black mask?
Shaggy takes both of the small spoons back to the kitchen, just throws them in the drawer.
Tie the ears back.
No, you just pull a hood up over the ears and horns.
It kind of sticks through the hood. I mean, the hood's going to be a kind of a weird shape. It's going to have sort of bits sticking out here and here.
It's going to be fairly obvious that JL is a tiefling. I mean, that's not.
Yeah.
That's not a point of contention, right?
Oh, don't forget to wear your hat, JL, under your hood.
I put a moustache and a beard and call her Bob.
Bob. Short for Kate.
Bob.
Yes.
No, it's Kate, short for Bob, isn't it?
Yes.
It's okay. I'll stay here for a bit, and if I'm needed, you know where to find me.
Right.
Well, we've got a day.
Bob.
As you fly in, who's flying?
Varo.
Not Bob.
Varo.
24 hours of traffic jam.
Varo is flying. Okay.
He's flying.
As you fly in towards Enchant, you're getting in towards where all the, you can kind of start to see quite a lot of other ships sort of assembling. And Lovlaw runs up the requisite flag. And you're sitting in this holding pattern with probably about 20 other vessels in this kind of big area, just sitting in orbit above this planet. And you look down, and for all of you, it's breathtaking. I mean, for those of you who are from here, it's a stunning place, and you remember what a wonderful planet this is. For some of you who have not visited before, it genuinely is a jewel of a place. Beautiful greens and blues, and you see whites, you see the kind of beiges of desert spaces below, and as you're looking at this huge globe, this vista, it really is a stunning planet. Choose violence. Perfect.
Yes.
I see. We're getting ready to land. Right. Good.
John.
And yes.
Sorry. Talking about landing. Shaggy would like to be up on deck. Okay. And I want to observe how the holding pattern is kept and how the ground instruct what ship to then land. And how and things like that, especially for this planet.
The ground does not.
Sorry?
The ground does not.
Well,
does not what?
Right,
The ground
so
doesn't tell you anything. You sit in with a whole bunch of other things. You're in this kind of probably about sort of mile square or so space. You're coming in, you run up these colours. And what you can see in the distance is a platform that's kind of orbiting the planet, just sitting above the planet. You've seen other things in orbit around as well, but there's this enormous platform, and what happens on the platform is signals. So there's basically a signal person comes out and runs a bunch of signals, and then kind of you see stuff is pointed. Kind of there's a big thing comes down and points at the particular ships, and then they go off into this landing. Basically, all it is you fly across, you sit kind of adjacent to the platform, and then literally just descend vertically down towards the planet, slowly drop down towards the planet, and they're just pulling ships, and then you sort of edge in closer, the closest ones, and then you edge in closer and you edge in closer. It doesn't take that long, but you just have to wait your turn, and because it's daytime when you arrive, you're in this position where it's daytime, so there's more ships. You have to wait probably about half an hour for your turn to get into this slot where you just drop in and you just start descending down towards the planet. You hold your speed and you drop down.
okay.
That makes sense? Yeah?
It does, but
You
it
got any
doesn't
questions
actually
before I
answer
look?
my question.
Okay.
Oh,
Which is?
Right. So I want to be up on deck. I want to see how the holding
Yep.
pattern's done. I want to see how they communicate with the other ships to pull them in out of that holding pattern, because there's a number of ships out here. And before anybody says anything, let me finish the question, because this is the important bit. I'm also looking out for the Periga family crest. Specifically the Periga family crest. If there's any ships there, I want to concentrate on that ship versus other ships that are at the front of the line. I want to see if Periga have special attention, and from now on, you can take it as granted. Any planet or port that we go to, this is what I will be doing. I will be on deck looking at this, okay?
So let me answer the first bit of that first.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I was quite clear enough. So effectively what happens is you're in essence, it's a queue, right? It's a little bit more higgledy-piggledy, but in essence, it's a strung out queue. And the ship closest is kind of pulled in, comes across, and then kind of drops into this pipe and descends. I mean, you can see ships descending below you, right? Yeah. And then there's kind of a gap. The next one is pulled forward, and there's a little bit of a gap. There's like a 5-minute gap, and then the next one, and the next one. So everything's sitting in a big stack,
Right.
all just dropping down towards the planet. Okay. And the way it works is you inch forward, you inch forward, you inch forward, you inch forward. Now it's your turn, and you go, and off you go. So that's the answer to the thing. It's not like there's some big sort of, 4D chess thing. It's just everyone sort of inches forward.
No.
Everyone's kind of
Yeah, I didn't
taking
know
their-
whether the landing crew then like struck up the same flag that we would have to indicate your turn, come forward.
No, they have a pointer and they point at they're basically pointing at the closest ship. Pretty much.
Ship and then
Yeah.
point
I mean,
where it needs to go.
You can
Right,
tell
okay,
they're keeping
gotcha.
Their eye open, and if somebody turned up and tried to push in, there might be some problems. I mean, you notice this is quite a big platform, this thing, and you notice that it's got some smaller like skiffs parked along the side, and you think they could probably come out and yell at people if they needed to. They could probably come out and inspect and stuff as well, but they don't seem to be doing that. They seem to be mainly just quite happy waving people on. You can see this platform has got a building on it which has got a glass front. You can see some people inside that, so there's coordination and they're watching what's happening, and they're making notes and sending ships down.
This is the most English role-playing session we've ever had.
Yep. By far.
We're gonna spend all night in a queue.
Yep. That's
And we're
absolutely
gonna love every second.
true. And the Germans are not pushing in. Sorry if you offended Germans, but there's been 3 times in my life when Germans have pushed in a queue and it's been a serious issue.
Is anybody trying to throw their towels over the edge to try and claim the best landing spot?
So we'll get to the landing when you get there, but you're quite a distance away from that at this point.
The thing is, there's a lot of elves on Enchant, and everyone knows that elves are English.
Of course.
They have the best English accents of all the magical
In
creatures.
the same way that all pirates are from the West Country,
All dwarves are Scottish.
right? These are immutable laws of the universe, aren't they?
Inherent laws, yes, that's it.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. So
And all tieflings sound like Scousers
Northwestern chipmunks.
on
Squeaky ducks
helium.
on helium.
Yeah.
all tieflings sound like they
Yeah.
play for.
Okay, and the second part, I take it I don't see any Periga family crests or anything.
That's the final bit. You don't see those ships were quite distinctive. They were quite a distinctive colour, and they had quite distinctive markings on them. And you don't see any. That's not to say you won't see any when you get to the ground, but you don't see any
They're just
here.
not landing at the moment, or not in
Not in this group that you're in, if you like.
Yeah.
So eventually it's your turn. You pull to the front, and then you literally just start dropping. And who's flying at this point? Varo, yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay. You start to descend. So, probably about half a mile away, off to the starboard side, just because of the orientation you've adopted, there is an ascending pillar of ships. This is really slow. Much faster than this. Shall I just land quicker?
I'd like to, but it's considered rude around here. I don't like to be polite.
I don't care about those things. Are you sure? I can go faster.
Yeah,
I can go faster.
yeah. I appreciate that, and maybe later. You might have to leave in a hurry, based on past experience.
This doesn't look like the sort of place you're going to fly. You're going to land in a hurry or leave in a hurry.
Yeah.
All right. So, eventually you get quite tired, Varo, and you have to hand over because you've been flying for quite some time.
Mhm.
And I'm going to assume that you hand over to Megan, and then she hands over to Shaggy, and you all take turns. As you come into the port itself, you're dropping into this port, and as you're sort of probably about, I guess, about a sort of quarter mile up, you're getting a much better look of this place. Actually, Shaggy, you're not flying at this point. Sorry, you've handed over now back to Varo, and you're back on deck because you're keeping your eyes open about this. You're really fascinated to see what's going on with the port. And it's roughly a flat area. You can see the city in the distance, but it's this big, flat, open area. And you notice there's some wet landing areas. There's what look like big, effectively like a big lake that's kind of been squared off to one side. But you don't need to land there. You can land in the dry. And it's probably about 3 miles square, you reckon. It's a pretty big, chunky area. On the southeastern side of the place, there are a collection of buildings, and you notice that there is a fence all the way around. You also think the land has pretty much been leveled, and there are some designated areas. And as you are dropping in, you're a few, probably sort of, I don't know, 500-600 feet off the deck. You've been noticing some of the other ships that the skiffs have been coming up, and basically they're flagged and they're leading off. So another one comes up a sort of in front of you, and they indicate you follow them across and you land at a berth. But this place is, big, and there's a lot of ships. So Shaggy, you're having a really good look round. You think that kind of in the distance that you might see a Periga ship. You think it is. It looks like a transporter. Doesn't look like a a warship. That wouldn't be particularly surprising for you to see a Periga family transport ship here. You don't think that would be particularly odd, but it's some distance away from where you're landing. You're landing kind of with the smaller craft.
I'll let everybody know via the orb, and I say that I'm just everything that's gone on and their involvement, especially with our death ray. I'm a little bit by them, so I'm just keeping an eye out on them. So yeah. There might be a ship. It might be theirs. It looks like theirs, but it might not be. But there we go. So at least everyone's been told.
You settle into place, and it's raining. So as you've come into land, the day before and overnight, it's been quite clear. But the clouds rolled in and you dropped in underneath them, and it's throwing it down with rain. And you sort of land and make sure that you're fast and everything is settled. And you notice that 2 figures have walked over and have stood next to the ship, waiting for the gangway to be dropped, presumably. Pot workers, you reckon, both clad in weatherproof gear. Medium-sized. One is holding a large umbrella, and the other one has got a ledger and a writing implement of some type. It's probably a pencil in hand, and the umbrella is being held over the ledger, and they're standing, watching and waiting for you to get off the ship. Someone to come down and talk to them.
Yeah, I'll go down.
Okay, so you're going to drop down the...
Yeah, I'll drop down the thing and then I'll walk down.
Okay. That's usually a 2-person job, as I think I've mentioned before.
Well, Lovlaw's up there as well, so I'll go. Yeah. Love, give us a hand to get the...
you and Lovlaw can do that. That's not a problem. You come down here and drop the plank off the side here. I know we're not in land mode, but we're close enough, so that's okay.
Yeah. And then I'll walk down the thing.
Yep, no problem.
You all right, fellas?
I'm up top.
One of them is distinctly female. Hello. Welcome to Flax. Sorry for the weather. Hopefully where you came from is more pleasant than this.
I look up, I see the rain, I look down at my body and I go, Don't worry, it won't hurt me.
Indeed.
Once again,
So-
still the most English session we've had.
50 gold pieces, please, for your landing fee.
Yeah.
And your ship name?
Narisoa.
Narisoa. How am I spelling that?
November, Alpha, Romeo, Indigo, Sierra, Oscar, Alpha. Stop.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And port of registration for Narisoa.
I mentally go, shit, guys. Where was she? Where should we say she was registered?
Well, she would have been registered on
Craxis.
Farsis in the Farsis Nebula with the Riga.
No.
I think we just claim when we know that we
Solvage.
Solvage. Thanks, guys. And within a briefest of moments, I'm back in the conversation.
Yeah, I know. It's okay. There's a bit of back and forth. Solvage?
Solvage.
I'm not familiar with this port. Where is it?
I point up. That way, past a couple of stars, turn left at the Milky Way. And then
First star
when
on
they're
the left and straight on till morning.
Yeah. And follow Peter Pan.
Brilliant.
And then when they're not like catching on, Regar system.
Riga?
Do you want me to spell that for you?
Riga?
Yes.
They're looking at one another. They're looking at their ledger, and they're looking at one another as it teams it down rain, and the rain sort of boiling off their shoulders and off their head. And the only thing that's dry is the book, the pencil, and the hands of the woman who's holding them and talking to you. How is your ship registered with the Riga?
Well,
I'm not sure we
yeah,
have any
Richard.
mutual registration agreements with the Riga. Okay, I'm going to have to.
Do I
get
need
the
that to land?
You should have. They make the most excellent of ships.
Yeah. They.
Are
Yes.
you there?
No, that's through the orb. So I say, do I need to have a proof of registration via the Regar system for the Regar to actually sponsor this ship? I mean, they make excellent ships. If one was going to go out into the star system, there's no finer thing. You just can't beat her at charades.
She's looking at you and the things that you've just said to her, and you can see that she's concerned about what you've just said, right? Her immediate thought is, you don't know what you're talking about, and you're not responding how I would expect somebody to, right? Because you've just landed here. You've done the right thing. You've come in, you've landed, and everything's fine. Then you've said your ship is registered with a Regar. Well, who knows where the Regar live, right? They're just these weird people who sort of wander around somewhere on the periphery, and you know, it's not like there's lots of Regars stacked up here. They're not one of the folks of the extent. So she's just confused by your whole take on this. And so she's just said, like, we just need to go and check this. I need to go and check with my supervisor and find out what's going on. And then you've come out with a load of waffle. So she's ticking her head over, and you can see that she's starting to get a bit concerned. She's gone from ship's landed, okay. A plasmoid's come out. We've had a little chat. There's somebody else stood on the deck. No problem. Ship's a bit strange. Not seen one like this before, but that's no big deal. But now you're saying it's registered with the Regar, and it's like,
Look, guys.
No contact, and you can see that you could see it spinning in her head. She's just like not understanding.
Might I suggest that we say that maybe you misunderstood? This was built by the Rhaegar, and it's registered back in our home port, because we know that at least the leadership there will back us up if we get in a situation, most likely because JL can sweet talk them. So we have been gifted this ship by the Rhaegar for services rendered. It was made by them. It's not registered there. It's registered at our home port, but sorry, a little confused. They made it. This is a Rhaegar ship. Thoughts?
I concur.
Shaggy? You're the mouthpiece.
If he's the mouthpiece, does that mean he gets blown every time? Oh no.
Oh,
Oh, John hasn't had his meds.
no, it just means we have to train the spit out of him every so often.
I would ordinarily I would agree if I wasn't there doing it. But Shaggy asked. Hang on, Shaggy asked, and he just passed over the information that he was given. So Shaggy will not make himself look like a fool because information wasn't correct.
I got it. I can.
And I also have to say,
Shaggy has no issues. Sorry, go on.
Just because this bunch of idiots have never really dealt with the Rhaegar before and don't know them and don't actually do business with them, doesn't mean the Rhaegar are not entitled to have a registration system and have ships coming in and out and make ships and do the rest of it. They're building a port. That's what they were doing when we were there. So it's her ignorance, not our fault.
Not Shaggy's buffoonery. I mean, Shaggy's buffoonery is part of his charm and natural appeal because he believes that trying to confuse people often gets them to just go, oh, just go away. You know, carry on. You know,
especially if it's all talking in your ear.
Yeah, so that's all part of him being him. But she hasn't actually asked Shaggy the right question that Shaggy's anticipating.
She hasn't asked the right question.
Yeah.
What's that question, Rob?
Well, I can't tell you because then Shaggy, the GM will know the question that I'm expecting and then he'll ask it.
Well, that's fine.
That's metagaming, dude. Come on.
Don't try and pull things over on the GM. Oh.
All right.
Yeah.
If you just wait here, please.
Yeah, no worries.
And she turns and walks off.
See, what I expect to be role-played is that Narasoa then farts on her and says, "Oi, you! Stop treating me like I don't exist." She's a very touchy little ship at times.
Yeah, very touchy. Like I said, I mean, you can't beat her at charades.
Yeah, she's got a wicked sense of humour.
She knows what card you're looking at.
And a mildly wicked streak to her.
So whilst I'm waiting, I try and pick up some small talk with the male that was with her. No. What type of wildlife have you got here?
They both walked off.
They both walked off.
Yeah, she's put the thing back into. She's got a big bag, and she puts the thing back in, puts it over her shoulder, and the young lad who's with her closes the umbrella, and then they both sort of bottle off.
Narasoa,
they disappeared off around another ship, but you can't see where they've gone.
Narasoa, are you registered somewhere that we don't know about?
I don't know anything about registration. It sounds like the thing you should know about.
Fair enough.
So I'll just sit at the bottom of the gantry plank, legs stretched,
Okay.
no care in the world.
So after about
Pseudopod
5 minutes or so, she reappears with the young lad, and with a couple of other folks. One of them is a gith who is dressed in what you think is probably kind of dock worker gear, and the other one is, as I get closer, they're kind of a bit shapeless because of the kind of water gear they're wearing, but looks like an elf. And they come over. This is my supervisor. Hello,
Hello.
says the elf. Who are you?
My name's Shaggy. Who are you?
I'm this area supervisor.
Yeah, so what's your name? You've asked me for mine?
We don't give out our names.
Ah,
That's a policy. That's a port policy.
port policy. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Have you got any? Sorry. If that's called port policy, how do I know that you're a supervisor? You've got a wet skin on, so I can't see any emblems of lapels or anything like that. I'm not trying to be difficult, but I'm taking your word for it.
He unhooks the big wet weather gear and kind of pulls it down and opens it and shows you that he's wearing a uniform.
There you go. Thank you very much.
Right.
How can I help?
And you can see, and he's getting wet as a result of that, and you can see that his eyes have narrowed. So this is Narasoa from where?
The Regar system.
Solvage.
The
Solvay.
Regar do not have systems. So where is the ship
Solvay.
from?
Solvay. As I told.
Where is this?
Shaggy, maybe it would help him to step a little closer and allow Narasoa to tell him.
Okay.
She can communicate with him too.
What system did we go to get to Solvay? What system is Solvay in?
Solvay is not in a system. It's in the Round of Sea. Sorry to say, you do have these notes because I'm
yes, but not at me right now. And somebody would obviously complain if I said, "Right, hang on a second, I've got to go back to 2 weeks ago to get the notes so that I can actually inform them correctly." Right. So I told them.
Everyone else is in there going.
Now, do the Regar want to know? Do the Regar want to be found?
Well, the Regar travel and
Right.
trade with
I will say
other systems quite happily.
I do not know where the Solvay is because I was gifted, we were gifted this ship for services rendered to the Regar on Craxis.
Right.
I was asked where it was registered, and that's where the ship was registered.
Rionic Sea, which
But
is where the
we are
Regar
not
live.
Regar. There is no Regar on board, and we come from Craxis.
I go down the gangplank and just stand behind you.
And if I had eyes, I would narrow them at him as well. Any other questions, sir?
Is there a problem?
Well, plenty. So you came from Craxis.
Yes.
Hmm.
Well, actually, via March. We left
So which is
Crax's
it?
to go to March, and then we
Crax's or
left March to come here.
So you came from March,
Yes.
right? What's the purpose of your visit?
The gentleman who's flying the ship wishes to see his family.
Run a mission.
Just
for
like
God.
the lady on the ship wanted to see her order on March.
Put the dark glasses on.
So one of your crew has family here.
Yeah, I don't. It's not me, obviously.
I might have some, but I don't know about them. Ha.
Yeah, Lovelaw's got plenty of children all over the place, so there's every chance that he's got family here as well.
Do I
Saying that
recognize
we'll
you?
have a child in every port might not be the
Just a joke,
Best way of
young
putting it.
man. You look like a military man. Where'd you serve? I show a tattoo.
You're talking to the GIF.
Yep.
The GIF turns and narrows his eyes. He's wearing unlike the rest of them who are wearing heavy waterproofs. He's just wearing a cloak, and you just see his hand come down and flick the right hand corner of the cloak away, and his hand just rests on his thigh. A big meaty hand rests on his thigh. You can see the bulge underneath it. Clearly, he's
Right.
if he's carrying it.
Sir,
He's saying he's packing.
sir,
I'm just.
I don't mean
if
to
you
get
look at you and
short.
narrows his eyes, he says, "I'm local." That's all.
Local only. Very good.
I don't mean to be short with anyone, but you've kept me waiting, which is fine. You've obviously got questions. I'm starting to get the feel that you don't want us here. That's fine. We'll go. I don't have any
No, you
issues.
won't. No, you won't.
So you're now keeping us here.
Yes.
Easy.
Excellent. So therefore we can forego the 50 gold because you're detaining us.
So you're not intending to pay your landing fee?
No, I am
You-
prepared to pay the
you
landing
can
fee,
see
but
that
you
they're
can't
all
detain
like-
us.
There's utter confusion amongst all of them. And suddenly this has gone from, they clearly believe, you can see in all of their eyes, they clearly believe that you're up to something. That you're
Okay.
very, very shady and you're seriously up to something. You said you were from here, you
Well,
from there.
then they
you were
failed all of
here,
their
you from
insight
here,
checks
yeah.
then, haven't
The-
they?
the things- They've been making inside checks.
Right.
Oh, they've absolutely been making inside checks. Trust me.
Okay.
They're looking at you and they're looking at your behaviour, and then suddenly the tough guys wandered down and he started having a chat. The thing is, the gift was just standing there, very casual, no issues. But suddenly now he's being talked to, because the big guys come down and started talking to him, right? And the whole thing is like you can see that they're like, "What the hell's going on? There's something weird is going on here, and we don't understand."
Yeah,
it.
something weird is going on here
Confused
because
what's happening.
Shaggy.
Varo's going to head
Shaggy,
over.
Let's
to
go.
the, to the
Let's wake up
gangplank.
the captain.
Yeah.
Let's let the captain speak.
No.
Well, Varo's going to head over. He's been listening in,
No,
obviously.
not
Varo's
being
gonna head over
funny.
to the-
Do we actually need to be here? Because this is another one of those where we're being hindered. I've answered truthfully.
You're not. All you had to do was land and tell them the information and go,
and
"Oh,
he
okay."
has.
They're gonna
He's
ask us some
told them
questions.
the
You have,
exact
and this has
truth.
led us to this, John. This is absolutely ridiculous. I'm not being funny, but I've answered every one of their questions. They've
And
made an issue
truthfully-
out of it, not us as a team. So, unfortunately, the way that I'm looking at this moment in time is this is another one of those where we've arrived too early in the scenario, so we're going to have to go. But now we can't go because we're being detained against our will. And if I'm not mistaken, nobody's got the right to do that. I mean, I don't know. They're the port authority.
Yeah,
So
they
if
kind
I
of
want
do.
to
because
leave,
we're in
I
their-
should be able to
we're
leave.
in-
No
We're
harm
in
done. We
some-
haven't
we're in
entered
their-
anywhere. We've not
Yes, we
insulted
have.
them.
No, we have entered. We've entered their airspace, their sovereign territory.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
have
they
the right
have.
to keep us.
Yeah, you got to answer. Can we answer
If
right?
someone sails into a British port, ties up at the dock, then the British police, the Coast Guard, have the right to say, "Yeah, sorry, you're not going anywhere. We think you're possibly trying to smuggle stuff in, so you can't just up and leave. This is our waters." So
Jail.
kind of
Could you
international
fix
law
this?
does cover that.
Jail. Could you fix
can see
this?
that they're utterly confused. They do
Okay.
not
Yeah, but
understand what is
hang on,
going on
stop.
here.
Stop talking.
Yep.
You don't understand that we're utterly confused. Nothing that Shaggy has said has been a lie. He's told them nothing but the truth. And I don't understand why this is causing such consternation.
Okay, sir. How about if you and your dock workers want to come on the boat? We'll get the captain out. We'll get the three others out. You can search the ship. You can go through our personal belongings. You can do whatever. I'll pay
Why
the
don't you get
50
the
gold
captain here
now, and I put the 50 gold down on the table. With one of the clerks. I'll hold it out. And I'll go, whether you let us in or not, we can then leave because I've paid the 50 gold, but we would like to go in so that we can see the captain's... Sorry?
Why don't you get your captain out here?
Why don't you come on board?
Why don't you get your captain out here?
Hey, absolutely. We'll get the captain.
Right, he'll be here in a second.
What's his name?
Varo.
I'm going
Varo,
to...
what's your surname?
Dawnkind.
Longkind.
Dawnkind.
Thornkind.
Do you use it? Sorry, just to ask. Do you use his correct name or not? And by the way,
Yes,
Varo.
use my real name. Use my real name.
Okay. So.
And then Varo comes trundling down.
Here comes Varo.
And I'll go, Captain, Supervisor, Dock Supervisor, Dock Administrator,
My
Soldier,
apologies, sirs.
and somebody else. They've got a problem with our ship registration, and they don't believe me.
I was just finishing up some paperwork. You know how it is. So I understand you have some questions.
Yes.
Please.
I was asking your crewman here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, please tell me what would you like to know?
Where was your ship registered? Where is your ship registered?
Oh, I see. Right. So the ship registered with Praxis.
Praxis.
Yes.
Then why did your crewman say it was registered with the Regar?
Oh, sorry. Misunderstanding. No, it's a Regar ship, and it comes from Solvage. But no, the ship is actually registered in Craxis.
Right. Okay. Do me a favour. You're clearly long on the bluff here, aren't you, Varo? Okay.
Yeah.
So, persuasion, if you don't mind.
Persuasion. Okay.
What the?
Persuasion. I'm going to use a bit of Bardickin's. Oh no, can't use that because that's, as we said, that's not a skill thing. So
No.
okay.
It is a skill thing. If you're, you can't use it with skills. Bardic inspiration.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, attack roll, saving throw, or an ability check. Although we did have a question about ability because we had that thing, isn't it? Ability check. What is an ability check? Let me
come back to it. You do the roll for now.
Yeah, I think we did say that is only. Hang on. Well, Yeah, so yeah, you look that up. I'll do the roll. If it does work, then I'll use the Bardic Inspiration dice as well. $19.
Okay. I can't believe that. It's all right. He looks at you and he leans over to you. He's an elf. You're an elf.
Mhm.
He leans over. He seems a little slow. Is it something to do with plasmoids? I don't think I've ever met one before.
I think it might
He's
be a
clearly being
language.
quite a bit racist at this point.
Yeah. No. It's a language thing. I think this isn't his native language, but I think sometimes
Oh.
the nuances
Right.
escape him. So when you said what there was registered, he thought about registered, built, similar concept, but different, obviously in
Right.
finer meaning.
All right. Well, thanks for clearing that up.
No, he's very smart, very intelligent.
How many?
Sorry,
did you say
I
you had?
cough, and I go, and the plasmoid's got fucking good hearing.
Also quite blunt, it has to be said.
Immediately,
sorry.
you can see that they're all quite a lot of. Right.
And
Well,
I
an
turn
inspection
around
will
and
be
I
required
fucking
then,
storm up that
before
gangplank,
you,
go up on the ship, and you could just hear the fucking crew door just slam shut, and Narissa shakes.
Narasawa.
I think
Not today, she's not. Because I've just knocked the fucking A off of her.
I think nothing may look quite as funny
Touche.
as a plasmoid storming off.
The squelching.
Fucking hells.
You need boots. You need boots so you can storm off properly.
Pirate boots.
Stompy.
Yeah, that's it. Good thigh-high leather boots.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
In my mind, I do mention, at least Shaggy, you didn't say we were pirates.
That's true. Yeah.
No, but that through the orb, I go. But the ballista
That was
is looking
next.
very fucking tempting.
They,
Arrogant prick.
That's why I came down here.
They hand over some paper work.
Mhm.
20 gold pieces per day. Payable on
Yeah.
exit. Yeah, it's
Understood.
expensive.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I've already paid him 50 anyway.
50 just for the
50
landing.
your landing fee,
Yeah.
and there's 20 per day.
Yeah.
Payable on leaving.
That's just for them to stand there and insult you, Shaggy. That's
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Next time, I think I'll fucking go up through the nasal cavities and then just destroy the brain with my fucking pseudopod. That would be a nice attack tactic, wouldn't it? Through the orb,
So,
all you
you're
can
saying
hear
you're
is
attacking
Shaggy
with
going,
primary
JL, no wonder you don't want to fucking come back into this place. Arrogant pricks. You're better off with
Oh
me.
no, that's an attack tic tac.
Uh,
They're not arrogant.
Oh,
They're not arrogant. They've not been rude. They've not been difficult. They've just been confused. They were confused. And
And
that
racist.
confusion led them to be
Speciesist.
concerned that you were up to no good, which is what happens with people whose job is to, be the first point of contact for ships that land from foreign places, anywhere.
Hmm.
Yeah. That's it. That's the sum total of it. So the supervisor, the area supervisor who's come over, that's his job to to look into things in a bit more detail, and he has a bodyguard. That's it. Just in case somebody decides to get a bit physical, the bodyguard can hopefully shoot them and lead them away before, a large group of people can turn up and take on. You guys are dangerous, right? I mean, physically very, very dangerous, right? Way beyond most of the, most normal folk. You guys are martial specialists. You can kick ass. And therefore, there's always a risk. They don't know how many people. You might have 20 stormtroopers sitting in the bottom of your hull, for all I know.
We could all be wizards with fireballs prepped and ready to go.
Exactly. So these things are always. It's always a case of they have to tread a bit carefully, and unfortunately, the answers to the questions that they were given made them concerned about who you might be or what you might be. That was it.
Yeah,
It is what it is.
think the observation that Varo made, that this is a tighter ship here than we are used to having to deal with at a lot of the little ports is.
Yep.
But that also means that I am querying them through the orb, both JL and Varo, for what the heck are the laws and norms here? Are we gonna, if I go off to shake the dust off from a space trip, what are the odds of getting thrown into a jail? Just for
Depends if you cause
if you go to the
fights and things, then they might
Varo
be,
can direct you to a few of the more lax institutions. Just don't maim or kill anyone, or
I mean, just a little
take your
punch up or
fights
something.
outside. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Okay.
If you happen to get into a fight that's just a little bit of a fight, kind of, whatever. The key thing here is that the dock itself, that the port itself, has a number of bars that are really quite. I mean, they're dives, they're all dives, right?
Absolutely.
And some places to stay that are incredibly basic and cheap, if you're not staying on your own ship, but you could do, so that's fine. But if you want to go beyond the port, you've got to pass through customs to do it. That's why the place is fenced in, right? So if you're going into the city, Varo can find you some places that will be, where you're less likely to get into trouble. But the fact is, if it spills out into the street and out into the square, and markets all are kicked over, and people ordinary folks get punched in the face and things like that.
Police will come and you'll get arrested. Basically,
it's probably not going to go very well. You're going to get arrested.
If you want to do that sort of thing, just stay in the port area.
Yeah, probably.
You don't have a problem.
But you still get arrested. But the point is, you get thrown back on your own ship rather than thrown into jail, unless you murder someone, in which case all bets are off. Right.
I suggest
it's that sort of thing. It's like heavy drinking and and carousing and whatever. Perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I suggest we get our business completed then. Shaggy, I'll take Shaggy under my wing and.
I'm not leaving the ship.
Okay, I may bring him some stuff. What
are we here for? What are we here for? Serious guys, what are we actually here for?
So Varo says to everyone, he says, "Yeah, you can understand, guys, why I left, because this place is just full of assholes like that."
Yeah,
it really sticks up the butt. They are just. I couldn't be doing with it, and that's why I left.
So have those guys moved on yet?
What do we need to do here? Why did we choose to come here?
Came here to do some research on the box.
Okay, how long will that take?
The university in here is the best university in all the known in the whole region.
How long will that take?
That's a debatable thing. I mean,
hopefully only a day or two. We'll see.
Fair enough.
That's fine. I'll play with Narasawa.
I've got some contacts at the university, so
JL, are you staying on board?
There's no reason for you, no need for you to come if you don't want to.
I don't want to step foot on this fucking planet.
No, I don't blame you, to be honest.
How dare they fucking insult my race? Or me?
Yep, I know. But, I mean, for all their claims of being...
I didn't even get the
civilised,
opportunity to flash my winning smile at them to convince them that what I was saying was the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Not once. So, no, I'm not playing their games. I will be here. I will get the flags made. And as soon as we go to leave city, I'll hoist the fucking Jolly Roger and fuck to them, is what I say.
Do you make a little flag which has got a hand on it where 3 of the fingers are down, but the middle finger seems to be standing upright for some reason?
I've already got one of those.
Yeah. It's called
and it's
the
on a
FU
rainbow
Roger.
background as well, so all sexes and sexual types can actually take a good fist. I mean, the bird. We don't discriminate on the Narasawa. Heart of Gold Part 2.
All right. Then let's if we're leaving 2 people to take care of Narasawa, that seems ample.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'll go with you guys. Just
well, you can help carry all the beer back that we're going to bring back for Shaggy, and the extra material to make his flags.
Oh, we owe him some beer.
Well, you can. I mean, I'm assuming there's a place where you can buy supplies and things like that for ships anyway in the port area.
Yeah.
So
you don't have to go beyond the port if you don't want to. You can stay in the port.
Pete, take the 50 gold out of the ship coffers, won't you? I know we're good for it.
I'll do it. Yeah, no, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Let me just pop that. Make a note of that.
Yeah, JL, you don't need to feel like you've got to somehow pay for this yourself just because.
Yeah, no, don't.
No.
But if
So,
we might have a discount.
So, JL, are you staying on the ship with me? Sorry, I didn't hear you answer when I asked.
You'd have to get through customs. Would that not be highlighted? They'd need to see your passport, I'm quite sure. And your blood type. They probably want,
wouldn't be, yeah, I definitely wouldn't get through. All us plasmoids look the same, even the terrorists.
What? There are terrorist plasmoids? Get out of here.
Of course, most of them want to be pirates.
Deep down. Well,
I really want to see my sister.
Oh.
Okay, go with them then. Try and disguise that.
No,
you,
Shaggy.
I'll try.
That sounds actually. You know what? If you guys don't mind me saying, I think that sounds like a really good mission for very low key that maybe Shaggy, you and JL could do together. You guys don't get to do a lot together, just the 2 of you. I think that it's a good thing because, just pulling JL into the crew here a bit more, so there's fewer secrets, JL.
It's just about a mystery.
And yes, I'm trying to pull you off the ship, Shaggy, but that's just I think it's the better thing.
It's up to you. If you want to come, you can come. But I'm not gonna make you.
See what this is all about.
I think it would be best. I respond. I think it would be best if you go alone. I've got a funny feeling that no matter what I say or do or look or pretend, lie, tell the truth, it's just going to cause problems in this place. So me and my type will stay exactly where it's safe, which is on the ship. So
I know how you feel.
Maybe you should try that nail thing with "I'm not a plasmoid."
No, you can tell. It's the lack of definitive cheekbones that does it, and the fact that you can actually see all of my nerve endings.
Very good.
There's still some pastries left.
I'll be all right. I got Monty to keep me company, and the ship, of course, and the orb.
Mhm.
So we've got a reliable team for some poker.
I really think that we shouldn't separate in this into 3 and 1. I think somebody should go with jail. You want to send
Why?
Monty?
Nope.
Why do you need somebody to go with JL?
Because in the
Because
horror
we
movies,
never
you should never go
split
off
up
on
and
your own.
investigate, and we never go down cellars or into attics.
We check every door for an hour. I think
And we
that,
queue like
that
Englishmen.
Lovelaw's thoughts are twofold. And he hesitates to say it, but he feels a little betrayed that there's this whole thing going on with JL that she didn't say. And he'd rather that someone's there to see what the heck's happening so that we all know it. And then the other thing is purely he doesn't want JL to get hurt because he does like JL. And he's sort of thinking that maybe the two females of their species going together might work well for the sister meeting, but he doesn't want to say it because he doesn't want to sound like he's insensitive. But at the same time, he doesn't want to lurk and scare people that she's going to see. But those are just the thoughts that are in the back of his mind that he does not allow out to the orb.
You might be okay, because he works in a temple.
He?
She.
Thought you said
She works
sister.
in a temple. Yes.
She.
She's a cleric.
She's a cleric.
Sorry, he's got JL's got to put the new helium in the balloon.
That's one of the other things that Jug produces on a daily basis, but I've got to pick.
Every other day, fresh helium.
I don't know
Yes.
about going in a temple.
If I could be a pain in the ass, I think Lovlaw, if you're that invested in JL's happiness, you go with JL because Megan needs to go to the university because it's her box. It's her thing. Okay, you really don't need to be there, in my opinion. I mean, I wouldn't have gone to the university with Megan and Varo. You know, Varo does because he might be able to use his bardic inspiration. So whilst they're in the university, Varo can sing a song to whoever's helping Megan out to try and encourage, you know, the right information to flow freely from their lips and mind.
Oh, and maybe also see his mum and dad.
Oh, and
Shaggy.
also see his mum and dad.
Professors
Shaggy.
there.
What if you also send Monty with Varo and Megan, just as a
What's it going to do? I need
Strong backup.
I need to instruct him to change things.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a pointless pawn.
fair enough?
Yeah.
Lovlaw, do you want to come with me?
Absolutely.
Okay.
There you go.
We'll go
So
together.
now you've got your two teams, and the cover and the ship is covered. And if it gets firebombed, I'm going down with the ship.
What you could do as well, Lovelaw, is when you get to the temple, have a chat to their god and see if he'll speak to you. He is not as friendly as Istus.
I don't know.
Hello.
What is the name of your god there?
Well, the temple.
The main temple is Palor. It's the main god is Palor. But there are other gods. There are other
I
deities
have
as
not.
well.
I have not constantly talked to Palor throughout my life as I have Istus. Just a second. Let me try. Palor's butt. No. Just doesn't ring.
No, I mean you've now welcomed Istus into your life. I mean,
I think it's
Yeah.
I think it's Palor's pecs.
Palor's
Is-
Bex.
is-
Halor's balls.
I would say by the armoured cock of Palor, personally, but you know.
Oh.
No. All right. I'll follow JL when she takes off.
Okay. All right. So you're going with JL, and the elves are off to the university. All right.
Correct.
So the four of you head to customs.
These guys.
And you're not the only ones going through customs. You basically have to walk up in front of. There's a customs agent sat at a table with
the
the
queue again.
notes. No, you don't have to queue. You just walk up. The four of you are all together. Customs agent looks up. Obviously, is bored, halfling. They're looking up at you. They're wearing some slightly interesting looking but rather funky glasses, and they look at all four of you,
Probably
scanning
looking for
across you with these glasses.
magical disguises, I would guess.
Mm-hmm.
You're pretty sure that's exactly what they are. First, you're large. Name?
Lovlaw.
From?
Craxus.
Very good. Ship name and birth?
Narasoa. I can't remember the birth.
722.
Varo.
722.
722.
722. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Very good. Nature of visit?
Personal. Pleasure. I don't know. You tell me, JL.
With that one?
Yep.
Fine. I'll get to you in a moment. Do you have anything illegal or stolen on your person?
No.
Do you intend to commit crimes whilst you are here?
No.
Might end up doing so, but don't intend to at this point in time. Where are you staying?
Intent is very important.
On our ship.
You'll be returning to port by evening.
Yep.
Very good. What coin do you have with you?
Ah, crap.
Not
Shaggy's
really.
not here.
Is it under a few hundred gold?
Yep.
Very good. Do you plan on trading while you are here? Intending to sell or to purchase anything significant?
Nope.
Good. Carry on. Next.
I wait on the other side.
And they do this with you, JL, next, and then Megan and Varo.
They give us any
If anybody's
papers, or I don't know if they.
Papers?
No,
No, they literally
they're just
take
making
notes.
some notes. Okay.
Varo, where do you say that you are from?
I will say I am from Enchant.
Right.
I mean, my problems with the authorities have been resolved 100 odd years ago, as far as I'm aware. Yeah.
As far as you're aware. Yeah.
Hmm.
JL, where do you say you're from?
Praxis.
And Megan, I'm going to assume you say you're from March.
I do indeed.
Yeah, yeah.
I am a foundling from March.
JL.
Well, Varo has been back a few times, just delivering off
Yes, she says JL from Craxus.
Fair enough.
things. Yeah.
And you mean it when you say it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a lie.
Mm-hmm.
That's the key. So, yeah, I mean, it's been a while since you've been back. It's been quite some time since you've been back. Varo.
Oh, okay.
It's been many, 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 many years since you've been back.
No, well, I assumed that because obviously he's been coming back to bring back the various items he's got. So just hang on a second.
Okay, because that's basically throws up in the air everything that I've got.
Oh, okay. Well, no, I mean,
everything's phone dead.
it's
So,
just,
so if that's the case, my apologies.
I mean, this is in my backstory.
Literally, yeah.
Just
I've read the
post that.
backstory.
Yeah.
Read the backstory. Yeah.
With his efforts and the passing of time, he is now able to return to Enchant and visit his parents and his younger sister, her wife, and their children. He still thinks his parents and sister have 6 other butts, but they think he's a bad influence on his nephew and niece. So, I mean, I'd assumed that he'd been, visiting the family.
Elves.
Okay.
Time's immaterial.
Out of interest, how long has it been since I left? It's not a year yet, is it? It's a number of months, I would say.
It's yeah. Probably between 6 and 9 months.
Yeah, I think getting on for the second half of a year. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So,
Yes.
JL,
Your smoke keeps giving you weird hairline there, Lovelaw.
I already have a weird hairline. It's receding.
So, it's quite a distance from the port into the town. So you hop one of the carts, one of the services that basically takes people into town, because it's a bit quicker than walking. I mean, you could jog, but you figure, this is the cleanest and easiest way. And so you rumble into the town, and for those of you who've not been here before, it is an interesting place. It is a genuinely beautiful city. Everything is stone built. All of the roads are paved. The place is generally fairly tidy. I mean, it helps that the side of town that you're coming in on is not the, some of the seedier side of the city, but it is a genuinely astonishing place, and it is packed. I mean, it's enormous. It really is the biggest city, and you get dropped off. You actually get dropped off in the center of town. So this is Temple Square, which is handy because for you, JL, one of the buildings on the edge of Temple Square is where you want to go. The hospital that your sister is in service of. And the university is a little bit further. It's a bit of a walk from here. So Megan and Varo, you hop off and head off in that direction. While JL, you and Lovelaw head into the hospital. Lovelaw, are you hanging back, or are you?
I'm about 2 steps back off of his left shoulder. I am examining the passing folks to note how different or not we are. So, for instance, we came off the ship loaded for bear. No one said anything at customs, but are people in the street carrying weapons, or am I vastly different?
They're not carrying weapons that are there's not that many people about that are carrying weapons like yours. There's not that many people armed like you are. There are a few. Open carry is normal here. Most people have a dagger. Plenty of people have swords. Axes are rarer. You do see a number of dwarfs carrying axes and warhammers, so bigger weapons.
Fair enough.
And you do see a few folks, particularly dwarfs, noticeably wandering about in heavier armor. Plus, you also notice, particularly here in Temple Square, you do notice paladins, obviously, holy warriors wandering backwards and forwards who are all, some of whom are quite heavily armed and armored. So
Okay.
it's not unusual to be carrying weapons. It's not considered to be a problem. What would be a problem is if you drew them.
Fair enough.
And you do notice the presence of uniformed watch members in small groups on patrol. And they stand out. They're quite noticeable. And you think that's the point. The idea is for them to be noticeable. The place feels safe, actually, relatively speaking. There's not beggars everywhere. You're pretty sure that pickpocketing and things like that is probably fairly rare. It would probably get you get nobbled pretty quickly. And you scan around the square and you notice at one point that there's towers at each of the corners, and you realize that there are spotters in the towers, and they probably have some way of communicating back to the people on the ground. So this is obviously quite an important space. I mean, it's a big area, but it's obviously well attended to, and there's a lot of people. There's street cafes and there are vendor carts. There isn't a market here, though. There are some vendor carts dotted about, and at the edges there are shop fronts that sell directly from the shop front, and there are other stores that you can go into. But there are only a few dotted about. They're not, because the majority of buildings are have religious function.
I want to try something, John. As we're walking, and I'm just a little bit behind JL, and she's scooting along, do I see a hat vendor? I'm serious, because I will purchase her a fine bonnet that I will present her in a little bit.
Okay. The answer is yes.
Okay, then I will do that, keeping track of her and trying not to show it.
You notice that Lovlaw is not following you, and you think he's probably pulled back discreetly and he's keeping an eye out for you. But as you walk into the cool hallway, sort of reception hall of the hospital, the hubbub dies behind you, and you walk into that beautiful tiled interior that you're used to. There is a desk to one side with an open book on it, but nobody is present. There's not a receptionist. It's not that sort of place, really. You know where your sister is most likely to be, which is on the first floor, because she attends to her patients in a ward that is up on the first floor. The question is, are you going to wait for Lovlaw to join you, or are you going to head up?
Yep, she's going to wait.
Okay.
I hope
He
I'm not
comes in a few minutes
that
later.
too far.
He's got this paper bag kind of in his hand. He's kind of carrying along. You think maybe he got some lunch or something. There is some seating here. So the question is, Lovelaw, are you going to wait on the seating, or are you going to follow JL upstairs? JL, your choice.
JL,
I think you should come.
You want me to come? I'd be glad to wait here if you prefer.
I feel like I've wronged you by not sharing some of this stuff, so I think you need to know.
I mean, I would love to meet your sister.
I do have 2, 3.
Be honored.
2 or 3, you're not sure which.
I do have 3, yeah.
There are 2 others.
This one is the
Twin,
right?
Yeah.
Let's try not to say it. If nobody else has twin, I didn't know whether they had or not.
And we just pop it in.
All right, I'll follow him her as she heads where she's going.
All right. So you head upstairs around the corner, and it actually, Lovelaw, is really, really weird, because she goes up the stairs along this corridor and into this big room. It's got a number of beds in it. Only seems like half of them are occupied. Looks like about 12 beds in here. And you, as far as you can see, there are 6 patients. And stood to one side, standing at a table and mixing up what you think is probably like a potion or something for an apothecary, is a tiefling with her back to you, and she turns as she sees you, and it is uncanny because it's literally like that. I mean, they are absolutely 100% identical. And the spooky thing about it is they've both got their hair tied back in the same way. It's both at exactly the same length. The style is spot on. What you thought was JL styling her hair is completely, you realize it's completely natural in terms of the shape of it. It's like every freckle, every mark, everything is absolutely identical. It's like one of them is standing in front of a mirror. It's uncanny.
I hang way back.
I mean, you just stand at the door and look, and JL, you just walk over, and the two of you just literally fall into one another's arms.
Yeah,
and you're just
big hug.
holding one another.
There's a few tears.
I should have bought 2 hats.
Yeah.
Where? She says.
Everywhere. Everywhere.
You meant what you said to Mother. But your destiny was elsewhere.
Yes, but there was also an incident.
An incident?
I think we need a. Is there a private room we can talk in?
Yes. She looks at Lovlaw and she nods. And she just leads you around the corner and into what you think is probably someone's private office or something of that nature. And closes the door, and then you talk to her.
Yes, it's just the three of us in the room.
It's mysterious.
Yes, there's the 3 of us in the room.
Oh, is Lovelaw joining you?
Yes.
No,
she wants him to come.
wave me forward. I
Yeah,
will
she wants
stay
him
back.
to. He wants him to come.
Oh, okay. So you come into the room as well.
I give her a stiff bow.
Okay.
This is Lovelaw. He's one of our crew.
I'm
She
JL's
comes
friend.
over. She comes over and she just cups your face in her hands. And she kisses you. She just sort of holds your hands, and then she takes her hands off your face and holds your hands. And you feel the sort of warmth and kind of dry warmth of her hands on yours, your calloused hands. And she just gives you this feeling of calm. She's just this calming present. Where JL is incisive and has this almost like kind of internal fire to her. Her sister is different. She's almost zen. So even though they look identical, for you it's an immediately obvious how different they are as people.
Yes, just be with you.
You are too kind. And thank you for being a companion to my sister. And for keeping her safe.
Oh, she keeps us safe.
I'm sure it's mutual. So, what happened?
I had to leave. There was, as I say, there was an incident. I do wonder if it was one of our other sisters that may have been responsible. I have my suspicions, but I was very clearly sent a message. And two creatures were dead, so by my blade. Yeah, that wasn't good.
Our mother will never understand. She struggles with my calling. But in you, she assumed that you would be her heir. She always believed that you would carry the family forward, that you would be the future for our trade.
I want to. I just think I have broader horizons than she does. She wants me to be this, and I want to be that. I mean, look, and she picks out
the book with all the sketches in, and she's like, look, and she starts showing her all these things that we've been in, the giant alien and the steamship, and she's just going, recount some of the bits and pieces. But
you can see that she is overwhelmed by what you're telling her and the knowledge and the understanding of that.
I've even got a captain's hat. I've had to cut some holes in it though. I'm not sure that helps. But you know what it's like with headgear. I just feel like I keep letting the family down. I don't want to let the family down. I can't.
You have to be you.
Trust it. Yeah.
You have to be you.
Yeah.
I don't understand in the end.
But they shouldn't. But my friends didn't have to die for that reason. There was a couple of fae that I found in the forest and in a moonlit night in the woods, and was swimming in a lake in the water by the moonlight.
You know, I realised something. That they perhaps were not the first of your friends to die, and at this she sort of looks at Lovelaw very meaningfully, and a bit of a concern comes over her face. Perhaps be careful about who you tell that you're here.
Yes, I wasn't intending on seeing anybody else except you. I miss you. At some point, I hope to come back and do what I can for the family, but at the moment,
You have time.
I can't be here.
I think you have time. Take that time. Prepare yourself in the way that you want to. And then when you return, you can be strong. But you can be strong in your way.
I'm learning a lot.
Obviously.
I mean, I don't understand all of it, but I'm trying. And this is my friends are very, very, very important to me. The crew friends have become very valuable and loyal. I wouldn't be here today without them.
Understood. Take care, love.
Thank you. You too. I don't know
And
what
write
to say
to me.
now. I will try.
Do you remember the captain's alias we used before? And the address, the little shop? To me there. Mother will never know.
Well, I have a new name. And I have a new alias.
You do?
Well, like I say, I had to leave and I wanted to forge my own path, so I thought a new name would help.
Right. Which is?
I'm going by JL these days.
Oh,
It's a phonetic representation of my name, but
clever.
I
Very
don't want
clever.
I don't want to leave. I don't want to throw the family heritage away. I just need to make it my own.
Then JL it is.
I hope it's not too long till we see each other again. Take care.
I hope not. I must attend to my patients. And you. Be safe. And write to me.
Oh, I was right. I have paper. I did the last one lot burnt up with our old ship, so that was
And
a problem.
She embraces you, she kisses you, and then she's just off out.
Yeah.
You can tell that she's just beside herself that you've appeared.
So if we just sat in the room by ourselves,
So you're just left stood in the room, really.
Okay. Yeah.
Sat.
Do you have any questions?
Well, that question I had about whether or not we had to be worried while we were here, don't think we quite covered suspected for murder. But that's okay.
Yeah. Well, it's not me. I'm not suspected for murder. Somebody killed them, but it was.
Did you
It
say
wasn't
with your
me.
blade?
Well, that was the message that was intended to say, "Do fall in line."
Let us be
It was a
extremely
misty. It was an odd
careful.
place. It's not. It's not. I'm sure the authorities aren't aware. It was deep in the woodland area in a strange place that was only really there by midnight. Yes, my real name is Jalira.
Very nice to meet you, Talira.
Thank you. Of House Lyrian family,
Very
trade
nice to
family.
meet you, Jalira from House Illyrian. You may still call me Lovlaw. I have something for you.
Thank you.
Here.
Very
I will
nice.
tell you that this is exactly wrong. It's in every possible way. The shape, the color, it's probably the one hat in that entire stand that you would have looked at and said, "Oh no, that's horrific." But that's what there you go.
thank you.
I have
Thank
this
you.
image of this frilly bonnet with white lace and
You're gonna wear it.
little flowers.
It just looks wrong. Yeah.
Yeah,
You just put it. She just put
Doily.
it on. You just put it on.
I
Thank you.
didn't make holes yet. Sorry.
Okay.
Um,
Thank you for coming with me. And I knew it was going to be difficult. I didn't think it was going to be this difficult.
I'm sorry. You're under a cloud like this.
But you're right. Secrets are not good to be kept.
How dangerous is our return going to be?
I don't think it will be dangerous.
Okay. I'll take your
But we
word for
shouldn't.
it.
But we probably shouldn't loiter.
Okay, let's not dawdle. Unless you need a shot.
All right.
Okay.
So
That way.
let's pick up Varo. And Megan. What are you doing then, guys?
We're heading to
Gonna
the
head to the
university.
university, yeah.
Okay. All right. What do you want to do?
To the antiquities department.
Right.
I'm
Okay.
going to see if I can find my old professor.
Okay. And do some research.
And do some research. Yes.
What are you looking particularly to answer? What sort of questions are you looking to answer?
So, questions about obviously the things like the plane of Isgard, Yggdrasil,
Okay.
boxes, any
Boxes.
legends, boxes. Well, boxes with connection to, I mean, Yggdrasil. Making boxes out of the wood of Yggdrasil can't, making anything out of the wood of Yggdrasil is probably not going to be a very common thing. So there may be some legends of, other items that have been made from that kind of thing.
Okay.
Might be able to slip a few gold to some researchers as well to.
Well, of course, I think it's perfectly reasonable that between you do an investigation check,
Yuduki.
and we'll maybe see what we can find out.
Hey,
You're on
My
20.
knowledge of the library is paying off.
Is that 20?
Well,
22.
that was a 15.
I'm really confused. Oh, I
Why?
just realised why I'm confused. Look at Lovelaw's character sheet.
Ooh, Megan.
What?
There we go.
Megan's not helping.
It's a confusing.
Why is it rolling it twice again?
How's he got an investigation of 0?
No.
But actually, that was Lovelaw's character sheet rather than Varo, so kind of the wrong one.
Mm.
I don't know why I'm rolling twice again, though. Didn't tap twice.
You were doing okay last time.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
Critical fail. Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
that-
so the first thing that you find out is that that working there is a there are some there are some old notes about people getting pieces of wood from Yggdrasil and using them for crafting, and it's a very specialist thing because the wood is incredibly hard and resistant to the vast majority of things. The tooling, you require special magical tools that are designed specifically for the purposes of working this wood. So you do find that out. So that's obviously that it is a specialist thing. You also find out that it is incredibly dense wood, very, very heavy, which tells you that it's definitely, based on the size of the box and the weight of it, he's definitely got space inside it. So one of the questions you had was, is this a puzzle box or is this just a fairly lightish piece of wood that's actually solid and all the way through? In which case, poking at it and trying to find out what's going on is a bit pointless. But no, it definitely is hollow inside. But also, you speak to some of the people on the Arcana side, namely your parents, and they spend a little bit of time kind of casting some spells and trying out a few things, and they tell you that not only is the wood itself incredibly tough, but that it has some fiercely potent protective magics on it, and even they're like, this stuff is off the charts. It's incredibly powerful. So however you can get into this, you know, sitting there and trying to beat away in is not going to work. Even with magical weapons, you don't think it's going to work. So putting the two things together, you know, there's obviously has to be another way into it. You just don't have the time, unfortunately, to really spend to, you know, get into months of research on it, which would be an ideal thing to do.
What I'm gonna do is see if I can get some either some of the faculty or some of the students interested, because we can leave them the rubbings that we've got, of the designs, and you know, tell them that if they find anything, they could send a note to us on Praxis.
Yep.
But only the ones you truly trust.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, basically what you do is you leave it with your parents and you leave them to make judgment on
with
on the whole process.
appropriate warnings. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a concurrence around the things that you've looked at and the sides of the boxes. The only one that seems to be causing consternation is the diagram of the strange geometric shapes. That's the one that everybody seems to go back to and stare at, and you can see people sort of staring at it and looking a bit concerned. And actually, weirdly, it's Professor Delis, who is she's a tiefling. She's really quite young. I mean, especially for a professor here. And she's the head of creature research. And it's her that looks at it and says, you know, I think I know where that is. And everyone's, because by now everyone's kind of busy, you know, it's starting to be this thing where people are starting to agglomerate and look at this box because they're all really interested. And so everybody looks at it and where? It's not a place. It's just a you know, no, it's a place. She says, that's a place. Bear with me. And she goes off through the library and climbs up some of the steps and walks along one of the bookcases and pulls down a small book. And she looks inside it and puts it to one side. And then she goes along and she walks around a corner and you hear her unlock a bookcase in one of the secured sections of the library. And you just sort of can just see around the corner that she's taken a small book out and closes the door and locks it with the set of keys that she's got. She comes back around, she walks down, she puts this book on the table, and all of you immediately are kind of repulsed by this thing, right? It's small, it's black, it's covered in some kind of leather or something. But it's something about the shape of it. It's almost like it's not quite of this world. And she looks at and she sort of grins and opens it. And she flicks through it a little bit. And all of you, when you're kind of looking at the things inside, it like you don't want to look, kind of almost like force yourself to just look down, glance down at the pages, and then you sort of want to look away. But for her, she seems completely at home with it. She seems completely comfortable with the idea, and perhaps that's her tiefling heritage, just giving her an advantage. Here, and here you are. And you all sort of glance down and look, and the drawing, the illustration in this tiny book is almost identical to what's on the box. You know where that is, right?
No.
Here. And she points at the opposite page. And there's some text. And again, you don't even really want to read the text. It's actually hard to read, but it's, sorry. She closes the book. That's Zorn. That is the Grand Palace. on Zoom. She picks the book up and she wanders back off and locks it away.
Okay, do we know Zom?
Zorm is the
Oh, Zorm. Arcee's Nebula.
Zorm. Yes,
Yes.
which is the which is
no.
the center of the Illithid Empire,
Right.
which makes perfect sense. Oh, you're visiting all these places, right? That's the plan, yeah? Just checking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm. I'm just reading the
that was the
last
plan,
line
wasn't
on
it?
Zorm, which I hadn't read before.
Yes.
The weird geometry that can send one mad simply by staring at it. Mm-hmm.
Almost like it's almost like it was planned. Yes.
Mhm.
Hmm. So, if you leave the sketches and notes and rubbings
Mhm.
with your parents, and then you head back to the ship.
Yep.
Okay. And by early evening, you're all back at the ship. Okay.
We got everything we wanted.
Think so. Somebody needs to
Okay.
check on the pirate.
Unless there's anything else that you want to do, I'm going to leave it there.
If you got all the way to the end, we appreciate your support. Thank you for watching the NVRA whilst we bring you content of different games. If you like what we have done, please like and subscribe.